Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Michael Zekas. How are you doing, sir?
Doing very well, Christian. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you, and thank you so much for having me on. It's wonderful.
Well, it's an honor for us too. Thank you for joining us for this Skype interview. So, we have a few questions we'd like to ask you since you're new here. First of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
Okay, so I've been working as a voice actor for the last 5 years. Had originally started in the New York area. I now work out of Dallas, Texas. And so it's something that has many points to it, but I'll say it's fun. Although it is an industry where you will hustle. It's something that every day, checking my emails, looking for a project, keeping an eye out for a text message for something that might be a gig, working on new clients, working on new connections, working on networking. And it's very busy, very fast-paced. A lot goes on from day to day. But I'll say it's probably one of the most rewarding professions that I've ever had the privilege to be a part of, because there's cool stuff going on. Everyone's creating work, anime, video games, educational work. It's a blast every step of the way.
Well, that's perfectly summed up. All right, so second question. During your time in the industry, what is your favorite show or video game you have worked on?
Favorite show or video game? I'll say for show, probably the most fun one that I've been able to work on so far was the anime Hakyo Hoshinengi. Was my chance to debut with Funimation, performing as the character Koyuken. And the show, it's a revitalization of a 1990s manga turned anime that is all about various teams that are engaged in fighting with each other, and playing the character of Koyuken, really getting to embody that a very hot-headed 90s, I'm going to kick your butt kind of character and probably kill you, but, we're not going to go out and say it because, just not quite that way yet. Was a pleasure to have the session, just had a lot of fun going back and forth with the director, coming up with some good work. Video game. Ooh. I have to give a plug to a dev team out of Austin called Team Dogpit, run by Manuela Malasaña, and a little video game that changed my career called Slam Fighter 2. A rhythmic fighting game where you fight with smack talk. And playing as a combo of characters, Dietrich Love, who is 19, which is 32 in anime years, just completely world-weary and tired of everything, and is an ex-smack-talking villain who's now trying to find his way, and just will look at you with the absolute contempt and throw slams at you. And then as Sergei Ionescu, who is the 5-time People's Choice Awards winner of Bucharest and the illest OG this side of Iron Curtain. He shall deliver sicker pieces colder than Siberian gulag.
Wow.
The craziest gig that it's just led to it's probably led to the most satisfying last 3 years of my life.
Well, keep up with those accents. Those are amazing.
No zdrowie, towarzysz.
Music to my ears.
It's just such a blast.
Oh, definitely. All right. No question. Now we get to the anime questions. Why was I working on Holy Night?
Holy Night. So, for those out there, Holy Night was the first anime that Media Blasters had dubbed after restarting its dubs in 2015. And I was working with the two directors who were producing at the time, Brittany Lauda and Melanie Ehrlich. And Holy Night was a very interesting experience. First time doing ADR and taking the source material where it was a team out of New York that had been getting into the production side of anime. It was a tough experience. I won't lie. I was playing the role of Cliff Strive, who was school teacher / vampire hunter / RAU, random acronym user. That's what I meant. And a role that had a lot of complex things going on with it within the story. It was a challenge to do my first role, and came together nicely. Had an excellent an excellent cast who was working on it. Was recording it in the dead of winter in February after we kept getting blizzard after blizzard after blizzard that kept affecting production. It was a wild experience, and just getting to step into anime. Actually, at one time that threw me off a little bit. We had some trouble with the time code for one part of one of the episodes, and doing my first work on mic with flaps, and then just going, do I trust the beeps? Do I trust the time code? Crap, I missed the fourth beat. But came together beautifully. Got a little love to help get everything up the door, but came through nice. And we brought an anime to market.
All right. Well, at least that was your first step. Baby steps.
Yeah, it was that show. It's. I'm trying to think of how best to describe Holy Night, just because there's so much that goes on with it, and this is a 2-episode OVA, so taking a lot of plot points, taking a lot of character development, just great cast all around. Came to know some really good people in that first one who came from Ohio, came from New York area, came from, I think we had one or two people from New England, so really was making magic happen.
Nice. All right. Another show we worked on, but I may not pronounce it right. What was it like working on Aino Kisabi?
Aino Kusabi, yes. That one I had worked on. Brittany Lauda was handling the production for that for Media Blasters last winter, and was actually the first anime that I had the chance to work on since moving to Texas. So, Aino Kusabi is 4-part OVA that, again, like Hakyo Hoshinengi, based on a property that came out about 20 years ago, and it was actually even older, 30 I believe, but we had the privilege of doing this. It was very exciting, and for everyone out there, I played the role of Katse, human trafficker and genius who was able to rise beyond this very stratified caste society where it is impossible for one to advance unless they happen to fit a certain genetic makeup in this dystopian world. It was a treat to be able to do this. One, because it was one of the largest roles that I had the pleasure of doing, and I also had a chance to perform a role that one of the Japanese actors who originally inspired me, Shinichiro Miki, I had the pleasure to play one of his roles as Katse. And this particular anime, when we had gotten it done, this was something that it is a BL/yaoi anime, and it's something that was a cultural touchstone for a lot of fans growing up in the 90s and 2000s. And to bring to life this series that they had grown up to enjoy and were referencing back in the days when anime, you basically had to know the one shop that happened to have a few fan subs to be able to get any of it. It felt special to be a part of working on that. And I was just honored to be a part of the cast overall.
Well, that's kind of heavy.
It was a good time. And Matt and Brittany, who handled the production, Matt Shipman and Brittany Lauder, I should say, they had been working with Funimation for a good, I believe, year and a half before we had started production, and the techniques that have been brought into doing it, we were able to get just great work done, very efficient, and just wonderful experience all around.
All right, another show, and this one is one of the biggest franchises in the anime industry. What was it like working on Legend of the Galactic Heroes?
Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Another series that had based on an older property, and this one a little bit lower key than Ai no Kusabi, as it's a space odyssey, but a lot of fun to be able to step in the booth, have a character, and it's a large cast with a lot of individuals. In the show, I play Casper Lintz of the Rosen Ritter, and so joining a crew that is an elite unit of the Rebellion, if I remember correctly. Let me make sure I don't miss things, because Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the plot is, like a space odyssey, extremely tangled and fun because of it. And a lot of fun to work on that, because the character that I was given was created in a way to be a very interesting dynamic of playing to be very posh under the ruling empire, but also having a bit of gruffness that, he's not a blue blood from this kind of society that is trying to be created and that the protagonist is trying to break. So it was a chance to do a kind of role that had multiple sides in it and kind of stretch the emotions a little bit in anime. And again, worked with a great team, worked with a great production. Second major name role that I'd worked on at Funimation, and just great people all around.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds like a challenging show to work on.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Originally, I'd actually started by doing an episode of some Walla and just had some incidental parts, and then had gotten called back in to then join cast with a name, pretty much.
Nice. All right, now moving to the video game questions. What was it like working on Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi?
Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi. That was a blast. So, Nobunaga's Ambition, a strategic series, been around for the last 35 years, produced by Koei Tecmo. I had the privilege to work with the director who brought together the voice cast for that one, Randy Ryan of Hamster Ball Studios out of Austin, Texas. I had taken a workshop with him some years back, and then had the opportunity to audition for works that he was producing. And tough competition as he brings in talent from across the country, whether here in Texas where we are, or in LA, whether in New York, and had gone in, tossed out some auditions, got a call back about a week later saying, "Hey, you booked it." As Nobunaga. Oh, I'm one of the most infamous Japanese warlords from the Warring States period. But yes, sir. And it was one of the largest video games I had the chance to work on. I used to live in Austin, Texas, before I moved to Dallas, where I am right now, and so the production story was actually a little bit funny. I wanted to simplify things a little bit by working in person, and so it said, you know what, it's about 3 hours between Dallas and Austin. I'm happy to come down, record there, just take one step out of the mix. One thing when you record remotely, there might be a chance of a tech issue. The client that the director is working with, getting them involved to make sure that they're satisfied with everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, or making sure Skype works or Source Connect, whatever it might be. So we agree on, okay, I'll come down to Austin the morning of the session, scoot down, easy shot on the highway, and get into studio where I was working with a good friend of his, Bradley Kopp, who runs a studio out of Buda, Texas, just south of Austin, does great work, has a good setup, friendly gentleman, does his own music as well, and had the opportunity to record this. Now, video game recording is radically different from what's done for anime and animations. So, while with anime you're doing it 2 flaps, you've got a picture that's already made, with video games, you're recording with just an idea in mind, and usually you're given a script that'll be, okay, cues like this, and oftentimes have to take a lot of the emotion out, because even playing the role of Oda Nobunaga, in this game, it's a lot of announcer work, and performing these announcer lines as Nobunaga. And so going through them so that they have emotions that match what the context of the line is, but not too emotioned, so that, let's say, if you're performing very well, but you have a negative reaction to something, that it doesn't sound as if everything in your own state of Japan is now falling into abyss, so that it can sound neutral, fit with the rest of the game. But had gotten through it, gave me a chance to go back and visit Austin, as I think it had been about 6 months in between when I'd been able to get there last. The game was released later, and I believe it was about 3 months after we finished production when the game was released. Really exciting, got to see Koei Tecmo once they had released some of the promos for it, got to see the final cast list and go, golly, there's a lot of OGs here. I'm not worthy of this. I'm feeling, I'm not sure if I deserve this. I'll take the paycheck, but I'm not sure if I deserve this credit. It was just exciting all around. I had to race back to Dallas for a gig that I was doing for an online client the next day, though, so it was a little hectic when I then pretty much was driving 400 miles over the course of 24 hours to make sure I stayed on schedule.
Wow. The life of an actor.
Yes. Yes. Hashtag actor's life with a Y on the road. Just get ready. It's going to be, hold on to your butts, it's going to be a wild ride.
So another video game you worked on, what was it like working on Legion, Rise to Glory?
Fallen Legion, yes. So, this was produced totally differently. This one, Fallen Legion, Rise to Glory, it was a combination of 2 games in the series that were originally produced separately for the PS4 and PS Vita, also Fallen Legion. And this was a release for the Nintendo Switch. And I had worked with one of the talents, actually, excuse me, I had worked with the casting director from the video game on another game, and in animation, Xanthi Huynh was handling the production for this out of Los Angeles. Lovely voice actress, lovely director all around, just pleasure to work with. I can't sing her praises enough. And so I had gotten sent out an audition, and unfortunately didn't book the role. They were looking for something a little bit different. But then had said some time after that going, I've got something else that I think you would fit. And, okay, I'm happy to take it, please, by all means. And so this one was a remote session since she's based in Los Angeles. Here I am in Texas. A little harder to get to LA than it is to get to Austin. But was working with her and also the producer of it, Spencer Yip, who had been cast in the role of Placidus, who is a general in the army of Princess Cecile, the lead role for the game. And once again, doing a lot of incidental work, a lot of reacts, battle commands. One of the fun things about video games is that you have to stay in front of mic, but getting the motions and visualization as much as you can without affecting your performance, that you can do these crazy attacks. I'm carrying a giant broadsword, and so to be able to deliver that force where I'm slashing down this 50, 100-pound thing, without, of course, whacking into my mic. And was a lot of fun to do. They actually had a live release where all the voice actors got together. I was a little bit bummed because I think I was the only one of the cast who wasn't local. And I'm just going, I can't figure it. Oh, this is... Well, I guess I'll see everyone next time. But a wonderful game, and this was released, I believe, in May, so the Switch still being only being about a year old at that point, so really fresh and exciting getting to see a game that's released on just something that's the hot ticket right now. And I've been wanting to go back and play it. I love RPGs in my spare time, and just unfortunately go, I need to sit down and actually enjoy them when I can stop doing work for a moment.
Another perfect life.
Oh yes, yes. You get to make the creations, whether you get to actually enjoy them. Who can say?
Yeah. So another video game that just came out last week, since the recording of this interview. What was it like now being part of Smite?
Smite, yes. Smite is... It was an honor to join Smite. So, Smite, massive MMO that's been around for, I believe, since 2014. And I had the chance to play as Primal Storm Susano, one of the voice packs for the character. And that one was just fun. Had been auditioning for Smite for some time, and just the role clicked, it worked. There's a studio called Okatron, run by Chris Sabat, which is based here in the Dallas area. And I'll say, one of the nicest studios I've ever had the privilege to work in. It is gorgeous. And engineers are great. Had gotten the client on for that one. And at that point, the production of it was kind of like Nobunaga's Ambition Paishi, where being given this set of lines that all have different contexts. When you're doing video game voiceover like this, there's not much direction, because oftentimes it's, all right, give us 2 or 3 takes, move on. 2 or 3 takes, move on. Might do another variant of something in case there happens to be a line that might not sound quite as they were predicting, but it's get in there, make some magic happen, get going. And it was like Nobunaga's Ambition, but at that point just going in, having a blast. Their air conditioning was out on that day, though, so pretty much after that I'm just going, well, I'm taking a shower as I'm acting as a character wearing this heavy beast armor, and just I can start feeling the sweat drip down my face with even it's just, okay, you're announcing how many kills the player has done. And just kind of, yeah, this helps to get nice and primal. I'm taking a shower afterward because I'm schwitzing. I'm schwitzing so bad. Make sure you stay hydrated, folks.
Especially in Texas.
Oh, yes. It was about 105 that day. We've had a heat wave going on for about the last 3 weeks now. Finally broke, so it's luxurious mid-90s for the high. I'm a total wuss in the heat, but for when doing work, it's pretty much just, all right, let's get in the zone. Whatever needs to be done, boom, go for it.
All right, now it's time for our funny question. We like to ask everyone if you can be any character you have played in real life, who will you be, and you can mix and match.
Oh, mix and match. That's going to. I'm going to go back to Slam Fighter for a moment and reference Sergei Onescu, who happened to be former colonel in the Soviet Army, was also first man in space as a video game called Red Star Azimuth, currently in production by Team Dogpit, shameless plug. And Sergei is a very complicated individual. The deal is, I shall switch back into normal speaking voice for a moment. He, in the game Slam Fighter 2, is a rapping Soviet who somehow was born in the 1920s, but only appears to be in his late 30s. Okay? And the kind of character who is the most emotionally complex. So getting a lot of fun to be someone who is on the surface about as cartoony as they come. And down below, probably one of the deepest characters that I've ever had written, with emotions, with backstories. There's, if I may be so bold, a lot of self-identification. Was a character that the creator and owner of Team Dogpit, Manuela Malasaña, when she and I were working on this game for a period of time, who was originally a joke character in this game, Slam Fighter, then started evolving into something more as the game went through revisions, and then he ended up in another game, and then making a cameo in another game called #Everest, and then making a cameo in another game called Loteria del Arios. And there's a lot to what's going on with this particular character, but one of, on the surface, when you have someone who will just look at you and go, "In the name of fearless leader, I will make punishment of you." And very self-aware, where he's making references that are just impossible for him to do, and will just kind of get everyone's head turning, going, what? How did you just... "Comrade, I be bawling. I know what is going on. I was it in East Ossetia, and by it, you put consonants in front of it to turn it into a different word that I cannot say due to FCC regulations."
Oh, that was gold.
He's probably just, again, one of the silliest yet deepest roles I've been able to do, and it's just every time I've had the chance to play him, he's just fun. And the creator just keeps throwing writing that goes, okay, there's no other character I've had the privilege to play like that one. And he was the one that really changed everything when I first had the chance to pick up his character.
Change of vibes, wow. Yes. All right, another question, and here's the one that might be with under NDAs. Anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything else you want to plug in at this time?
So, I jumped the gun a little bit, but one game that is in the works right now was by Team Dogpit called Red Star Azimuth, which this is a game that it's an adventure / puzzle game about a Soviet fighter pilot in the 1960s who is banished to the Baikonur Cosmodrome and is kind of annoyed about that because in glorious Soviet Union you need to be hobnobbing and figure out how to use someone to be able to get ahead and climb the party ladder wrong by wrong. Delightful way those people were. Yeah, you got no freedom of career. You basically have to try and screw everyone in your path to be able to climb over them. And then maybe you get a luxurious 2-bedroom apartment that will be allotted by the party. Very despaired setting, and a lot of the characters, there's a lot of dark comedy and gallows humor in just dealing with all the nonsense of being a prisoner of the Soviet Union. But with this individual who over time realizes that she has the power to manipulate memories and timelines. And the game, done up in a gorgeous aesthetic style, so all 1980s Miami gradients and random palm trees and basic shapes. Beautifully done game, and was actually just shown off in Austin, one of the builds at a event called Juegos Rancheros, coincidentally. That it's been doing work on that game now for about half a year, and it's been in planning for longer than that, and fortunately is one of the least NDA-bound games that I've been able to work on. Have that coming out. Had recently done some small projects with a few creators I've been working with for a few years now. There is one called Sequel Studios that was just released. Going to put out a plug about that. As well as Pong 2. It's Pong, but more anime. And there's one other game I just worked on, and I apologize to the creator that I'm trying to... Oh dear, what? Pardon me for forgetting. I am going to post these on Twitter because I've just been at liberty to be able to talk about them right now. But I have those going on. There is a show that I'm looking forward to announcing. I believe I should be okay to announce it in about a day or so. Want to be careful with that one. And let me think if something else has been going on. Oh, yes. In about 3 weeks, I will be at Liberty City Anime Con in New York City at the Marriott Marquis, held every year. Is a lot of fun, and having the privilege to return as a guest. Got lots of wonderful people. Brittany Lauda, who I've worked with, Matt Shipman, Aaron Roberts. I believe Vic Mignogna is even going out there. So it's going to be a great time, and just looking forward to go out, have some fun. Got a few panels lined up, and just looking forward to meeting everyone who comes out to enjoy the con.
Awesome stuff coming out. Can't wait.
It's exciting. I'd done it last year, and great people that run it. It's just a blast. It's a con that's just the right size for anyone who's been out to a number of conventions. There's always that feeling at the con where it's like you got just enough room to move around. The dealer's room's just big enough. You got 9,000 panels, whether it's a small con or a big con, so you'll be filling up your schedule like that. And it's just a good time all around. And for everyone in the New York area, for everyone able to travel out, just come on out. It's fun.
All right, now we come to our last question, and we ask to everyone. Any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Yes. I'm always happy to talk. Facebook at Michael A Zekas. Page is Michael A Zekas voice actor, so just at Michael A Zekas. Twitter, also at Michael A Zekas. Instagram as well. I post from time to time at Michael A Zekas, so I'll be posting my family's dogs or coffee and or things that look delicious, as is fashionable on Instagram. And my email, michael@michaelazekas.com. And, yeah, always happy to talk to anyone. I will warn you in advance. I unfortunately always seem... The schedule can get a little crazy sometimes, but I promise I will try to get back as soon as I can.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us for this interview. It has been a pleasure for us and the rest of the Ohio guys.
Thank you, Christian. It's been an honor to join you, and I look forward to seeing more of what comes out of your channel, because you guys are doing some cool stuff. And just thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. To everyone out there, I hope that you're having a wonderful night, and just thank you so much. What I always hope for the privilege of being a part of this career is, at the end of the day, it's the projects and the people who get to make things. And I hope that you all get to enjoy great works, be inspired by stories, and get to really connect with individuals like Christian bringing things to life, the project makers with video games and animations. I just hope you all enjoy it. Everything that can come down the pipeline.
Well, thank you, sir, for those kind words. That means a lot to us. Keep it up. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you again. Thanks, everyone. All those that follow us. We will see you all next time. I'm Christian.
And I'm Michael A Zekas. Pleasure to be a part of your evening tonight.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.